Say the go.
Go.
I'm with the Newton Township Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission certainly looked at this issue, and I guess I would like to give an overview of exactly how we started and where we got to, and some of our thoughts and questions. We got a copy of the Act, the Oil and Gas Act, and we understand that there's certainly issues that the township can't interfere with the state with. And the purpose of the Act are four purposes. Permit the optimal development of oil and gas resources of Pennsylvania, consistent with the protection of health, safety, and environment and property of the citizens of the Commonwealth. Number two, protect the safety of personnel and facilities employed in the exploration, development, storage, and production of natural gas or oil or the mining of coal. Protect the safety and property rights of persons residing in areas where such exploration, development, storage, and production occurs. And four is protect the natural resources, environmental rights, and values secured by the Pennsylvania Constitution. So we took those four purposes in mind, understanding that we don't want to step on the toes of the state and try to pass an ordinance that wouldn't do just that. The Planning Commission looked at and made recommendations from our ordinances. They looked at our noise ordinances, our land development, our nuisance ordinances. One thought that the Planning Commission felt was that the residential district in Newton Township isn't defined as well as it should be defined. There's areas in Newton that have had residential development that have not been updated, that certainly needs to be updated for Newton Township. That's obvious that those areas are residential areas, and some idea needs to be given to that. When we look at land development and understanding this type of development when we come to the township, we look at our definitions for land development. And one definition that it says the improvements of one lot or two lots, and it says the division or allocation of land or space, whether initially or cumulative, between or among two or more existing or prospective occupants by means of or for the purpose of streets, common areas, and leaseholds. So the township, the Planning Commission felt that it would be considered land development. A land development application would have to be made from any oil and gas drilling company that were to come into the township. Looking to try to put it into a use in the township, there's a paragraph in a 604 of the zoning ordinance that says any use not allowed in any other district shall be considered a conditional use in the M1. So looking for that particular use and trying to understand where it might fit in, we looked at the agricultural area, and in the conditional uses of agricultural, it talks about natural resource uses. And natural resource use is defined as the removal or recovery by any means whatsoever of rock, soil, minerals, mineral substances, or organic substances other than vegetation from water, land, on or beneath the surface thereof. And he says said substances including, but not limited to coal, limestone, shale, dolomite, sandstone, sand, clay, gravel, rock, stone, earth, peat soil, or any other mineral. So kind of the thought was that it would be a natural resource use. We have ordinances in section 313 for natural resource use, and it says there that in all districts except the R1, it shall be considered a conditional use. And then it goes on to, in natural resource uses, it talks about the different things that need to be considered when putting an application in. It talks about setbacks and buffers. Some issues that need to be addressed would be setbacks from schools, setbacks from ponds, lakes, any wetlands. We have sections on water uses. We have sections addressing that, but I don't think clearly enough that those concerns need to be addressed. In that same area, there's a submission of operational data for natural resources, that data that's required from a company that would come in under that use. There's talk about rehabilitation and reclamation plan that's required when the operation were to leave, when we're finally going to finish, what to do to make that back to the way it was. We have a section on section 314 is buffers for water bodies and wetlands, and it's just not clearly defined in section 313, so that's a consideration that we would like to consider. And then in conditional uses, am I done?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
How does, 30 seconds, wrap it up.
well, in your conditional uses, which this would be considered, it talks about that there's areas there that they have to be considered for protection of health, safety, and welfare. There's all performance standards for that, and environmental impact statements that need to be filled out. So there's a lot of that. It would be addressed in any application that were to come through for the township. Just some beefing up of ideas of being more specific towards natural resource use, and consideration of those uses that we're not allowed to step on by the state. And I'll just leave this, and this kind of outlines everything and headlines for what the idea is.
Okay.
Nope.
Split it there. No, separate from that.
Oh,
Just put separate.
okay.
Or different file.
Thanks.
Thank you.